Welcome to Elevated Women, the podcast where energetics meets strategy and wealth becomes who you are. I'm your host, Myra Swan Kotze, subconscious reprogramming master, energetics mentor, multi-seven-figure coach, and Brain's 500 global honoree for my work in conscious business leadership. This space is your portal, a frequency upgrade for the woman who's done shrinking and ready to claim everything she came for. Let's melt the old patterns, rewire your money story, and build a wildly aligned business from your highest self. This is your next evolution. Let's begin. You're listening to Elevated Table Talks. These are the unfiltered conversations with women who build from soul, scale with clarity, and move with purpose. Welcome back to Elevated Women. If you've ever looked at LinkedIn and thought, that's not where my clients are, think again. Today, we're diving into one of the most overlooked and most powerful platforms for business growth, LinkedIn. And joining me is none other than Catherine Roy, often called the LinkedIn Wonder Woman, who has tripled her business twice using the strategies she's about to share with us. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels on social media and start attracting high caliber, ready to invest clients, this episode is your playbook. Welcome to Elevated Women, Catherine.
Thank you so much for having me. It's truly my pleasure.
You are so welcome. I am so excited about this conversation. I know that the ladies that's listening to it is going to take away a lot of insight out of this podcast episode. So ladies, listen till the end. I promise you that it's going to be worth your time. Let's start with this. You've been called the LinkedIn Wonder Woman. Tell us how LinkedIn became your platform and what shifted when you began using it strategically.
Yes, like that nickname is very powerful. We have to say that, but it's kind of cool. I was given because it was 2019, if I remember well, and I went on a conference in Madrid in Spain. It was a digital enterprise show. And I heard people talking about LinkedIn, but those were like CEOs from Tesla and Microsoft. And I was like, but LinkedIn is just a CV. And then I started researching. I was programmer for 15 years. So I quickly understood. Microsoft bought LinkedIn in 2017 and they wanted a piece of cake from social media, right? So they transformed LinkedIn from being a passive CV platform to now I can say, because I had the pleasure to work with LinkedIn editorial team from UK, they trained us for 6 weeks that this is absolutely the most powerful platform for business growth. So LinkedIn is not a CV. It's actually the most again, powerful search engine, like not like Google or things like that, but we leave a lot of data on LinkedIn, right? So we can practically connect with anyone in this world. And we know in business, especially if we work from feminine energy, that human to human connection is the most important. So you practically need just one person who can shift everything and change your life. So what happened first is that Goldman Sachs spotted me on LinkedIn and they were recruiting me for a role in London. But I wanted to build something on my own. And I was very honest with recruiter. So they sponsored me and I was certified for business growth. After Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, Indeed, TEDx, all these big brands came to me through LinkedIn. This doesn't happen on Instagram, on Facebook, or TikTok because decision makers are on LinkedIn. So, what's the main difference? 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn are decision makers. They are people with different mindset. There is no bullying. There is no, entertaining stuff like on other social media. But these people really want to grow, no matter if they're running their own businesses or they're running companies, right? And it's not a C-suite anymore because it's practically a social network. So LinkedIn took the best from all social networks and created a powerful platform, which now, because it uses AI in a kind of way, because OpenAI is partly Microsoft's too, they're connecting you exactly with the right people, and you can elevate as a person and as a professional much faster. So I implemented everything I knew as a programmer about web applications, and the expansive growth happened. So I grew more during the COVID when everything was online than in any other year. It was incredible. But after that, my brand was so strong. United Nations woman came along. I was a participant and I became a mentor, now Cartier. So all of these possibilities are hanging there as a
Wow.
very low fruit, hanging fruit, but no one is actually talking about that. This is why I'm so excited and why I want to share everything. Because guys, you have to be there. That's it.
That's amazing. Um, Before we started our conversation, we chatted a little bit, and I want you to tell the audience where you are from, and I want you to share a little bit about your personal story that you shared with me just before we came onto the podcast. So, because I think I wasn't aware of it when I prepared my questions, and it's powerful. It really is powerful. And I do want you to share that because your success coming where you're coming from and how you've healed yourself is something that I want us to share with my audience and even with your audience. So please go ahead and tell us where you are from and what have you had to overcome and survive to be here, this successful woman that you are.
Thank you so much. Well, I was born in former Yugoslavia. That was a very, very beautiful European country. But unfortunately, we had civil war during the 90s. And I was 17 years old and I found myself in an underground shelter, spending 78 days during the bombing of Yugoslavia. Uh, I was a child. I didn't know if I'm going to live the next day. We didn't have electricity. We didn't even have the food to eat. It was a revelation in a kind of way that I promised myself, if I survive, I will be the light in some kind of way. Back then, I didn't know how. So I did survive. I went on college and I started my life as everyone else. I was working in a corporation. I was a programmer, but then I felt very very weak, and something was um unbelievably disturbing in my body. I was feeling like pain in my chest and I didn't know what to do, and doctors didn't know how to help me. And it ended up I had the Coxsackie virus, which was discovered too late, so it already attacked the muscle of my heart,
Oh,
and
wow.
I had 10,000 to 20,000 stops in heartbeat during the 24 hours, which is very, very like risky. If two stops connect, I might actually die. So my mom took me to a monastery in on the Adriatic Sea, and I spent some time there. And there was a kind of a initiation of my awakening, and a kind of a spiritual experience when I went to pray and one monk came to me and he put a palm on my head and he said, but he didn't know I was ill. He said, everything is going to be okay. This world needs love and you are love. These words were printed in me, in my heart. I went back home. I did medical tests again and I was perfectly fine. My cardiologist was following me for 10 years, not believing that this miracle happened.
Wow, that is so powerful. That
That was
is
the moment. That was the
so
moment when
beautiful.
when I realized there is something more great than we are. And I was a scientific person, but since then I dedicated my life to actually really help people. And after publishing my book and building my own business, I left corporation, and then we come to the LinkedIn part of the story.
That is so beautiful, and I have got goosebumps all over my body, ladies. This is such an amazing story that Catherine has shared with us. Catherine, you've been through so much and you have been so strong. And yes, I agree that you are definitely love, and this world needs love. I've experienced it firsthand.
Thank you.
Okay, so many women in business assume that their clients are not on LinkedIn, like we've said. Okay, and what is the biggest myth that you wish female entrepreneurs would unlearn about this beautiful platform?
Well, we're all people, right? And we all seek for something greater in our lives. And when we look LinkedIn, there is actually 80 million companies registered on LinkedIn. And a lot of people are working for these companies. Now imagine how many people are there. And LinkedIn is giving us 100% of visibility. Facebook and Instagram are giving us 5% if we don't pay, right? And I never experienced any harsh comment, any harsh message, anything like ghosting or anything like that on LinkedIn, because simply the mindset is different. People are there to grow. And when I experienced that, I gained self-confidence. And I was showing up more and more and more and receiving more and more and more support. Then I simply showed up on all other social media because it really doesn't matter. So I would like everyone to understand this is not a passive platform, it is very active platform. Yes, there are people who are selling a lot of stuff, but there is something like there that happens everywhere, right? But really the quality of the connections and the will to collaborate and not to be one other's competition is on a very high level. Not to mention technically, like technically, I believe that's the most powerful web solution in existence because nowhere else you have the possibility of all of these functionalities which LinkedIn actually has. So I find it the place with the best people, no gossip, no bad news, nothing like that. Very positive energy, and I welcome everyone to join us there.
Thank you so much. I love LinkedIn and I don't even know exactly how to use it. I've been on LinkedIn for many years now. And actually, when I came online, I struggled so much with Facebook and this thing that we're talking about, I'm going to call it what it is, the bitchiness on Facebook that goes around with women. And it's so sad to me because women should be standing together and supporting each other and uplifting each other in place of being bitchy. But I've never experienced any of that on LinkedIn. And when I came online, I hated Facebook and I just focused on LinkedIn and I built my business to 7 figures with LinkedIn, knowing very little about it. And that was when it was still the old LinkedIn. Okay, before Microsoft bought it, when it was still very much this corporate business, I already started using it and I used it very successfully. And I haven't used it for, I would say, 3 years now. And when you and I started connecting, something inside of me started saying, you know what, LinkedIn is lurking and it's waiting and it's calling me. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to come join you on LinkedIn.
Yes, please.
Okay. And ladies, if you're not on LinkedIn, get yourself there. If you are there, start changing what you're doing and really start using LinkedIn. I promise you, it's extremely powerful. Um, let's get technical. Yeah, you are a programmer, so you understand tech better than most of us. What are the first three things any coach, consultant, expert, or healer should do to optimize their LinkedIn profile for visibility and, very importantly, authority?
Hmm. Everything on LinkedIn is a keyboard. This is not the case on any other social media. So every single section which we fill, we need to think about the keyword and phrasing. So first is a headline, and headline has a very, very powerful place because when the someone is searching, search engine first checks the top of the LinkedIn, right? So we have a form like who am I, what I'm specializing for, and for whom. So we use a lot of keywords. For example, I'm a business coach. I specialize in helping coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs. There are so many keywords. So whoever search for any of these categories is going to get me, right?
Okay.
Then the next section is about section. Now here comes the twist. Before, the about section was about me.
Mm.
Now, as a service provider, the about section is actually about my clients.
Okay.
So I again starts with keywords. Coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, if you're ready to. And then it goes my value proposition, the way to connect with me, and then my bio.
Mm.
So it's not about me at all, actually.
That is so powerful because I think everyone still uses it wrong. I think I'm still using it wrong for that matter.
You see?
So I'm learning a lot here today as well. I'm definitely going to go and change my bio and my intro. Okay, so after the bio and the intro, what's
Mhm.
the next thing that's important?
So experience is not a working experience anymore. Before it was like work experience. So it was a corporation. I'm working, now it's really experience. So what you will see in my experience section, it's the collaboration with all of these different brands, but I didn't explicitly work for them, right? I was a trainer or I was a speaker or I was a featured author. Why? Because everyone who is searching for TEDx or UN, they're going to get me again. So we're
Okay.
thinking about how we're feeding the search engine so that the right people can find us, right?
Hmm.
And then, okay, all of the other sections about the projects and everything are like simply as experience, but skills are extremely important because first of all, every skill is a keyword. Second of all, people are endorsing us for skills, so LinkedIn is calculating all of that. One man who came and asked to be a guest on my podcast, and he is kind of very famous in USA. He said he used the tool which extracted the most influential people from LinkedIn, and he got me. And I'm not the most influential person on LinkedIn. I just know how to use it to feed the algorithm, So
Yes.
it's kind of pretty simple when you look at this. Like what you see in front of you is a front end. So that's just a picture. Never mind if it is text or whatever it is. What is in the back end is the most important. So what does the back end do? Actually, the database is collecting words. It can't collect anything else.
Mm.
So what I give to the database is going to give back to anyone who is searching for something. So I need to know my business model perfectly well. I need to know my customer segments. I need to know who I'm talking to. And I need to know what are the keywords which they are going to search for. And then I just simply need to implement that. That's like in a nutshell about the profile.
Okay. That is really insightful because, and now my next question is also something that I haven't planned that's just coming out of our conversation here, and I'm having so much fun. My next question is for the ladies that's listening. Most of us are either business coaches, healers, creatives, and consultants. Okay. And or authors and experts. And you say that you're using the experience section to showcase your collaborations. Now, my question is for someone that makes a living, like me and many of my clients, from programs, is that where you will then showcase your different programs?
You can choose if you want to use experience section or project section.
Okay.
For the search engine is the same. For someone who is checking your profile, I always prefer experience. If that is something which you would like to showcase first. You know,
Okay.
plus on top of that, between the about section and the experience, you have a featured section with the content.
Mm.
And in the feature section, I usually pin my testimonials or some kind of, promotional videos or whatever it is. So when you look at from the perspective of someone who is visiting your page, that is your personal brand page, that is your web shop.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to see everything right away.
Everything.
Everything
Okay.
right away. I forgot one very important thing now when you mentioned this. There is a section for services.
Mm.
So you can practically, again, add keywords about which services do you provide. So now, even when someone is posting a job, which can be a contract-based job, LinkedIn will suggest them to contact you
Okay.
based on your reputation on LinkedIn and based on the services you provide. And my guess for the future and work is that LinkedIn is going to be so powerful to know exactly which company wants what kind of core values, what kind of jobs they're opening, and who are the perfect candidates. They're already giving the suggestions, and they will just connect.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just connect you with your future potential client and give them a nudge of, okay, connect with this person, this, and this. And they're going to be like automated place where the business grow organically.
That's so powerful. And I really love the idea that LinkedIn has been bought by Microsoft and that they've created such a powerful platform for us to grow our businesses on. It's really amazing. Okay, my next question is, and ladies, we are learning so much today. I love this. I absolutely love this podcast. Once your profile is solid and you've now set it up and you've got all the keywords in the right places so that LinkedIn can actually just match you up with your ideal dream clients, how do we actually attract the right clients? What types of content and engagement do you recommend? Because you mentioned earlier it's a busy platform. Um, so, what do we do once our platform or our profile is set up and it's keyword rich?
LinkedIn supports every type of content,
Okay.
including even PDF documents,
Okay.
which someone can download. They change algorithm from time to time, giving advantage to some other type of content. But what I found works the most is actual video content, but video content which produces value. Because this way people can see us and they can establish that trust connection. Okay, we
Okay.
can have a picture and text, we can have simply text, we can have a poll, we can have a document, but they want to work with me. So I need to show up. And it doesn't have to be like when you look at the analytics, you might actually see that text and pictures are doing better, but that's not true because the views on LinkedIn videos are presented for people who watched more than 30 seconds. So you know for sure many more people saw that, but you know for sure that these many people have really watched your video. And then in the analytics, you can even see from which companies they're coming from.
Okay. Good.
So you know if you said everything right, because if you did your targeting well, if you did set your keywords well, then you're targeting the right
Mm.
population, right?
Yes.
On the other side, I do a lot of videos and a combination of picture with text, sometimes polls, because it's interesting because people like to give their opinion. So whatever you ask, they will just react. and
Okay.
they will leave comments. It's very interesting because it's just a human nature.
Mhm.
Everyone likes to give an opinion, you know, and this way you're practically asking for opinions.
Yes.
So get ready to be very like floated with answers on.
On LinkedIn. Okay, great. Okay. So any kind of content really goes um on LinkedIn, but specifically the videos. And I told you earlier I don't really like videos, so I guess I'm gonna have to get my video act ready and let's get on more videos. Can you walk us through the process of how you tripled your business twice using LinkedIn? What made the biggest difference for you?
Well, we can sell one on one. We can sell one to many, and we can have a system to sell for us, right? So at the
Mhm.
beginning, that was very simple. It was content creation and an invitation for a complimentary call where we talk and see if we can work together, and then we start working. But as you grow your audience and you learn that practically selling one to many, and that's webinar technique, or that's actually going live and presenting something that you have. And the most important and powerful on LinkedIn is actually being found by those people who can put you on a stage in front of 10,000 people at the same time. So it's pretty much about the time and the capability to scale depending on how much you grew until then. And at the end, I actually built a system which brings passive income through the e-learning so that practically everyone can just sign up and learn without me being involved. But the biggest difference was first, it was Goldman Sachs, which I mentioned. Then it was Microsoft leadership community. I was invited to do a training there, and then they invited me three more times, and TEDx.
Okay.
That was and the interesting thing, people are learning how to apply on TEDx. They are learning how to be on stage. I was just invited, and they just said, "We just want to hear your story," which I told you shortly. And I was like, "Shouldn't I apply?" And they said, "No, we were watching you on LinkedIn for so long. We just want you to be there." And this is how I got on TEDx. That opened a lot of different doors. So I believe that really everything is possible there.
Okay, great. So for the woman that doesn't work with a corporate world, how would you suggest they go about this?
I don't work with the corporate world.
Mhm.
This was just a few examples of the corporations which invited me, but mostly my clients are coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, experts. So I see that as a very beautiful playground because people in the corporate world, they're boxed in and they would like to live more freely and express themselves, but they are not in a position to do so. On the other side, we are in the position to do so. So just being authentically yourself, like I was in Greece 10 days ago on Lefkada Island, and I just stop and I record. There is wind, there is noise, there is everything, but it is me authentically. So it's really simple, actually. People like when you are authentic, people like when they see that you have empathy for them, and people like when you are excited about what you do. So just express that through any kind of content you have. And the corporate people are just, watching and then at one moment wishing to transform their own lives. And I had the chance to help few of them actually to do that. So yeah.
Very powerful. So LinkedIn is then not the same as Instagram, for instance, where everything has to be picture perfect. You can just record a video and upload it without having to stress too much about what it looks like, but just being authentically you, and the message is powerful and it will land. Thank you so much for that information. It really is powerful. I love how the platform has changed over the years, and I'm getting so much more excited about being there that I'm definitely going to make this work for me. Um, let's see. You work with a lot of women entrepreneurs as well. You don't specifically specialize in working with women, but you do work with a lot of women entrepreneurs. What shifts energetically when we stop hiding and own our authority on LinkedIn?
Everything shifts. And not only on LinkedIn, but everything everywhere shifts. I believe we are here to be the light. And we're a little bit afraid at the beginning to show that light. But when we give ourselves the chance to believe that we're enough and we show that light, uh, dark side is a little bit uncomfortable around us, right? But when you shine brighter, then the darkness back up. And I'm talking this, telling about this intentionally, because not only on LinkedIn, but when we shine more brighter and when we increase our energy and when we go on the level of energy, which is joy and love and of the above, people feel that. I have clients, especially women, who say, I don't know what happened after a session with you. People just start coming to me. People feel that we're all energy, we're all frequency. So authenticity is the hardest because you must take off the mask. You have to be who you truly are. But the liberation you feel after you really do that. Of course, I was afraid. My first video I recorded 12 times and I posted it in a closed Facebook group, right?
Oh, I know how you feel or felt.
Come on. But then you realize you're not everyone's cup of tea. And it's your responsibility to show who you are and what you can offer to people, how you can help them. Because otherwise they will seek for help from someone else who don't care so much as you do. And when you truly care, people truly see that. And whatever you do, whatever the service is, whatever you provide, they just want to be close to you. They want to be next to you. And this is what authenticity actually triggers. And not only on LinkedIn, everywhere, but especially on LinkedIn, because again, mindset is different, the quality of people is different, and the income bracket is different. So it's much easier to sell something which is mid or high ticket than something which is low ticket, which usually goes on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, good. That is such a powerful way of looking at it. And I love the way you look at energy and light and love and authenticity. And that's why I was so excited to have this conversation with you because your authenticity, your light shines through in the most beautiful ways that I have seen online before. So I really appreciate that. And something that you mentioned that is so extremely important is you are not everyone's cup of tea. And ladies, for those of you that's listening, this is something that I want you to really hear. You are not here to help everyone. You need to get rid of that. I still see so many women that are trying to help everyone, and then you're actually helping no one. Um, you are not here to help everyone. You're not here to serve everyone. You are here to serve the people that feels your energy and appreciates your energy and can see what you are worth and feel what you are worth. So what Catherine shared with us there is really very powerful because yes, we don't want to help everyone. If you're helping everyone, you're helping no one. And clients are not going to feel that they are valued if you are helping everyone. Okay, so very, very powerful. Thank you so much. Um, what advice would you give the woman who wants to use LinkedIn but feels it's too corporate or formal for her style of business?
It's not anymore. That's the whole deal. We, the creators like me, actually changed everything. This is why LinkedIn did these workshops with us, because they wanted to teach us how everything goes and how it works, and to, tell us you're free to be yourself. This is not a C-suite platform anymore. It's not entertaining platform like TikTok and Instagram, but it's more like value-driven educational platform, not corporate, if I may say at all, because now LinkedIn has segments like talent researchers use this segment, content creators use this segment, and it's a kind of a hub for every kind of business. So don't be afraid. It's the feeling of being appreciated and valued is much more on a much higher scale than actually just being boxed in a corporation. Of course, some corporations realize that, and they're using employer branding and things like that on LinkedIn very intensively. But now LinkedIn switched, like this is a profile and this is a business page. And, profile for us who are service-based business owners is much more powerful and important. Real corporations, they mostly use business pages.
Okay, great. That's very nice to know because we do not want to come on LinkedIn and feel like it doesn't suit your business because then it really defeats the purpose and you're not going to get anywhere. So, ladies, like Catherine says, this is no longer the corporate boxed in CV that it used to be. It is a very insightful and very nice platform to actually be on. So, again, I'm going to give you that little nudge. Get yourself on LinkedIn if you're not there yet. And if you have been there like me and you haven't used it for some time, start using it and see what happens. I'm definitely going to go back to LinkedIn on a very well, in a very authentic way. I wanted to say aggressive way, but that's not how we do things. We do things authentically. So I'm going to go back to LinkedIn very authentically, and I'm going to be watching out for all my listeners to see if you are going to be joining Catherine and myself here. Okay, so this podcast is all about redefining success and building legacy and alignment. How has LinkedIn helped you claim your space and create impact in a more feminine, empowered way?
I am all about building a legacy because I believe that we're all here to help each other and to collaborate. And LinkedIn is the best networking platform in the world. There is no better platform for collaboration than LinkedIn. But we need to be proactive because we are building our network. We shouldn't just passively wait for people to find and connect with us. We need to search for the right people and build our network authentically, but connecting with people who can see us. I call that an A-list method. So there are always industry leaders, right? And these industry leaders are, for example, on this news or I don't know, on TEDx or this media outlet. We're not connecting with the A-list. We are connecting with people who are connected with an A-list industry leaders. For example, if we, I don't know, look at Marie Forleo, and if she is in Forbes and someone do the interview with you, I'm interested in connecting with person who did that interview. So in that way, I'm building my network, but I don't do anything in terms of outreach to like pitch or something like that. I simply connect with them on a human to human base, and then through my content, they see me.
Okay.
And there is the potential for opening the doors. Some people are doing outreach. I'm not so outgoing person myself. Outreach works also very well, but still we have to have a very powerful network. I have more than 32,000 people connected with me on LinkedIn. There are 30,000 direct connections, and after that, followers.
Okay.
So, but every connection is very valuable It's not like someone is following you on Instagram and then you check their profile and you don't know anything about them, right? You see one sentence. In
Yeah.
here, you see the education, you see their about section, you see their experience, you see if they're legit or not, and it's much more powerful in that way. So yes, but build your network authentically and connect with the right people, and then practically let them see the value that you think you bring.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's very great advice. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's quickly do a optional little uh rapid fire round here. We still have a little bit of time, so let's just I'm going to ask you some questions. Yeah, let's do it that way. I'm just going to give you some quick questions, and you're just going to give me your top of mind answers. A profile must have.
Headline, about section, experience, CEO on the top level with keywords.
Great. Most overlooked feature on LinkedIn.
Content creation. People usually have profiles, but they're not active, and then nothing happens.
Okay, great. Number one mistake people make.
They don't use LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Okay. Call to action you swear by.
Complementary call.
Good. Um, content that gets the most traction.
Pools and documents get more traction, but more valuable is video content.
Okay, great. Yes, you've mentioned the video content. That's really important. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to ask you another question, and it's one that I ask every woman that comes on this podcast. What does being an elevated woman mean to you?
It means truly and authentically being who you are, knowing your core values and acting according to that. My three core values are love, kindness, and integrity. And if something and someone is not in alignment with that, I say no. I say more no than yes.
That is so powerful. You know, I have heard so many different beautiful explanations of what it is to every single woman, and it's different for every one of us. So there is no specific right or wrong answer. But I love how you know your core values so well and how you can so easily say no just by knowing them that well.
Yeah, but I learned that. It took a lot of years to learn how to say no and set boundaries. But at some point, you simply have to.
Yeah.
Because if you want to build your legacy and you really want to elevate, and my elevation came after every trauma which I lived and every transformation I've experienced, I need to have space for those who are really in alignment. I can feel the energy. So I'm very free to reach out and say, hey, let's collaborate like I did with you. But I really say no when people call me and want to work with me and I don't feel that's a good match because
Yeah,
no one is getting well from that experience, right?
yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Thank you so much. And finally, where can the women listening in find you, connect with you, and learn more about your work? Other
I'm
than
present.
yes.
I'm present on all social media. As Catherine Biroy. I'm personally on LinkedIn. My assistants are on other social media. And my website is catherinebiroy.com. And I have one more, which is LHM Academic.
Okay, great. I'm going to link all of that. And I think you mentioned you've got a freebie that you want to give to the ladies that's listening in. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, it's called Freedom Navigator. It's about 1 hour webinar or training where I explain three main pillars in growing business online, which is actually visibility with a personal brand and a LinkedIn a little bit, business models and high technology, which can be used to help us. So yeah, it's free and available for your audience.
It sounds very interesting. I'm definitely going to be joining that. Thank you so much. And ladies, I will link that into the show notes for you as well. Go sign up and watch that webinar. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot. Thank you so much, Catherine, for being here today. You brought all your fire and strategy today, and thank you so much for this. It has been an amazing co-creation with you. I really enjoyed it. Let's do it again sometime. Your story is so powerful, and even more than what I realized before we had this conversation. I love your story. I love how you share it. I love how you stand in your boundaries and how you know your values. Ladies, this is a very powerful woman that you can learn so much from. So don't miss out on this. Thank you so much for being here, Catherine. I really appreciate having you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's truly my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, you actually invited yourself, didn't you?
Oh, well, you reached out first. So I
did.
I felt a good vibe and I said, yeah, let's do this.
It's amazing. I loved it. I loved the way we had our conversation and how we got here. And I love this episode. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so ladies, if you have been sleeping on LinkedIn, I've said it a few times, Catherine has said it, you have to be on LinkedIn. I hope this episode woke up something inside of you. And if it did, get yourself over onto LinkedIn. Go find Catherine's LinkedIn profile. I will also link that in the show notes so that it's easy for you. Go and see how she has set up her profile. Don't steal, but modeling is always good. Okay, so ladies, if you have a friend or a coworker or a contact that you feel that can learn from this episode that you want to share with, please feel free to reach out to them. Share this episode with everyone. Connect with Catherine and myself if you've got any questions. We look forward to hearing from all of you. Make sure that you go and follow Catherine and take action on what you've learned here today. She's shared so many powerful bits of information that we can go and use on LinkedIn. We actually really got so much value for free here today. So thank you so much, Catherine. And until next time, stay elevated, ladies. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning into Elevated Woman. If today's episode activated something in you, share it, tag me, or come say hi in the DMs. And if you're ready to go deeper, head to myraswankotze.com to grab your free gift or explore the offers aligned with your next level. Until next time, own your power, claim your wealth, and rise as the elevated woman you came here to be.